have the activities that they're going to do that night during parent-child time. So we don't want them to have to worry about a thing. We're going to provide all the supplies they need. So we'll have this little kit that they're going to pick up. It might be the day before if the food kit doesn't have perishables. It might be the day of. We're going to work that out. We may even deliver. We're still diving in, and you know, like I said, things are changing. And then we have the breakout rooms. Just like you're going to experience today, we'll have breakout rooms for them if it's a large group, so they can work in the small activities. So we'll have that parent time, we'll have that parent-child time, and they'll get a chance to interact. We have a fantastic facilitator who's really savvy at doing this. I'm so blessed that we have her, and she did a great job leading us, and she'll be leading us during these sessions. Our thing right now is finding when's the best time. We don't want to overwhelm them if there's only virtual learning going on, because we know that's hard for a working parent who's coming home trying to do schoolwork with their kids and then have one more thing to do. So we're looking at timing, and you know, we think we have a plan, but again, it may change. It changed on Friday. So flexibility is our middle name, right? We also are participating in parent cafes. I know that Melissa has shared out with all of us the parent cafe schedule across the state. This is a great way if you're looking for parent opportunities. Plug into this, start advertising this. I mean, virtually, you're not doing a whole lot of prep because it is done for you by these great people. We have a local one that we plug into. In fact, I'll be talking on one tonight because we have one tonight. So we'll be sharing about preparing for the school year during COVID times. That's our theme tonight. So we'll be talking a little bit about that. But this is a great way for families to connect. So if you haven't connected yet to a parent cafe in your area, I would encourage you to do so. They might ask you to help by being a breakout room leader or something like that. But it's super easy. You do it from home, possibly at night when they're held. But another great thing. So part of our Christmas assistance program is they attend 2 parent sessions and a parent-teacher conference. That's all going to be virtual this year, so Parent Cafe is one of the options that they can participate in. We have our Reading Pals program. So this is a mentoring program where we work with our United Way, and they recruit retirees, adults in the business community to read with children who are not reading at grade level. You know how important it is to get them at that grade level by 3rd grade. And so when COVID hit, our students were disappointed. They couldn't see their pals. Our pals were disappointed. They couldn't see students. And many of them are, as in this picture, an older lady who has a lot of health concerns, but loves her child. So we set it up with a Zoom link, and you can see a little bit of mom in the picture reading with the son. And you know what was great was the Reading Pals started to build a relationship with the mom. And so that was really fantastic to see that grow through the spring. They were very faithful at meeting weekly. I do like to be on those calls just for protection, just like I would be in a room if they're volunteering. So I was there as well. You get the parent permission, make sure it's okay. This year, moving forward, we're going to have some pals in the building, but we're going to have some pals virtual. We're going to have students in the building, but we're going to have students virtual. So their meeting times, it's going to look a lot of different ways, but we're still moving forward because we believe in the value of this program. So this has been a great thing that we are excited to continue, and we're just tweaking it. It's going to look a little different, but it's still going to happen this year. So I have a 4-H club of Clover Buds for my 3rd graders, and they were disappointed when COVID hit. They wanted to meet. So we decided, hey, why can't we meet on Zoom? And so if you have any clubs, you know, maybe they need to go virtual this year, or maybe part of the time they'll be virtual. So again, we gathered the parent permission, we sent out the link. You can see on here, we're doing the pledge, and the ones that could participate, participated. One was in a car, she was traveling somewhere. She still wanted to be on the call, so that was great. We planned a little activity. You could plan a scavenger hunt through the house, or you could plan a timed activity. We had a little drawing activity that we kind of gave a description. They had to draw what they thought we were saying. and they shared their drawings. They absolutely loved it. So they were so excited because they were missing each other to connect in this way. So think about your clubs, and is this a possibility? Could you meet virtually if your school ends up being closed or you're on virtual learning this year or for part of the year? There's many creative ways to do that. So they absolutely loved it. We'll be starting in person. We're an A-B hybrid, so I don't really know how that's going to look yet, but it may end up being that some of them are virtual while we're meeting with some in person, or we may have 2 club meetings a week. I don't know yet. That's the way it is right now, but we'll figure it out, and we'll have something for them to participate in. One of the fun things we did during COVID was our family engagement bingo. And I know many of you have emailed me asking, I shared this on the Frisky group, and many of you have received access to this to personalize it for yourself. So we've been told we won't be gathering people in groups this year. And so we still want to do some family type activities. And so this could easily be adapted. We shared this via social media, email, and I even handed out copies at the food sites. We gave them a week to complete it. So there was no pressure to get it done that night, so they could fit it in their schedule. You might even give 10 days, 2 weekends in a week. We let them mark it up. So for those with smartphones, they really liked this because it was a no contact way to do an activity. And so some of them I had to teach what markup is. And in a picture, you have the ability to mark it up, to add some things. So they could take a picture of it. They could then mark it when they had their bingo, and then they sent it back to me. The screenshot was either emailed to me. Some of them printed it off, you know, if they didn't have access, and they handed it in to me. Others sent it through my Facebook page. So once we got them all together, we had a deadline. Then we had a live drawing for our 3 family winners, and we used the wheel of names. That's so much fun. Kids love to see that. We put their names in it. We had the wheel spinning live, and they could go back because Facebook records it. So we had the 3 winners picked, and then we sent out the family game night package through Amazon. I just picked a couple of things that were shipped directly to the family, working with my purchasing department. And those kids absolutely loved receiving their prizes. They ended up all posting pictures, which was really nice, showing, you know, what they won. So it was a fun way. We had a really great participation. We look forward to doing something like that again during this COVID school year, I guess that's what we'll call it, right? This summer, so I like bingo, I'll have to admit. This summer we did a reading bingo. So this was a collaboration with my school librarian, and we found this bingo card. We sent it out virtually. We handed it out at the reading sites. And if they were virtual, you know, we made a contact-free way they could pick up their prizes when they had a bingo. And then if they were at the feeding sites, we were able to hand that out, again, from a distance in a safe way, so everybody earned their prizes, just keeping them reading, you know, through the summer. This could easily be adapted. We're looking at this or something like this, for a family reading week. We won't be able to do a family reading night this year, but how about a family reading week? Could we do some different activities? We were even thinking of maybe like a treasure map where they filled in so many activities to lead to the treasure, and then they would be in a drawing for, you know, prizes. So just think about that. What's a fun way that you could do something to encourage reading if that's part of your program plan? And then, you know, maybe award some prizes, and again, encouraging that reading. So I bet you have great ideas you'll be able to share later with each other. So I created a center Facebook page all these years, and finally in my 27th year, I have a center Facebook page. The last 5 years, I've had the school Facebook page that I've been one of the administrators on. So that was nice, right? Because you have a wide access that way of promoting things the center's done. But with COVID times, you know, I needed to change my thinking on that. And so if you've not had a Facebook page, here's why I recommend it. First of all, it automatically translates into whatever language your families are. I have a significant Hispanic population. I can't always Google Translate everything and get it out to them quickly, especially when an agency has free milk or something. It's a quick way to get that information to the parents. And so I love it because it translates, and even in Messenger, it translates for them. It's in their language automatically. I had a Hispanic mom the other night at back to school night, ended up handing me her phone from a distance and said, find your page. And so I found her page because she wants to be able to have access to the information and to contact me if she needs to. So I thought that was really clever of her to do that. You can use your school page as a tease. So we've seen a lot lately of different organizations that might have, you know, dairy products to give out. We get like a 1 hour notice. So could you put something on your school page that says, hey, want to find out about getting free milk? Join the blank Family Resource Center. And so we did that a few times to increase, and now I'm almost at 500 on my Facebook page, which is incredible, but I use a little bit of marketing in how to grow my Facebook page. So you'll want to send that out in email, have folks jump on. The other thing is you have the messaging part. And I know some people like to keep their personal time and not have all that interruption, I guess you'd say, that Facebook could be, but we are in COVID times. And I wanted my families to feel free to reach me however they needed to. And so, yes, I turned on that messaging. And you know what? I've reached families that probably would never have emailed me, would never picked up the phone. I don't know what's so secure about Facebook, but they're quick to ask me questions in the messenger if they need resources. So it's been a huge blessing and a great way to connect to my families and build relationship. So if you don't have a Facebook page, yeah, you might think about jumping down that rabbit hole. It really will benefit your center if you choose to do that. So I also built a virtual center. And so I know a lot of our teachers are building virtual classrooms. And one of our Friskies here in Region 1, she built her center, and then she posted on her Facebook page and got a lot of us saying, hey, what is that? You know, I never heard of it before. Well, let me tell you, it could be a time waster, but because it eats up a lot of time getting it ready. But I'm gonna give you a little trick. If you join this Bitmoji craze for educators, there are so many pre-made backgrounds that I just had to go in and personalize it. That didn't take very long at all. This is actually a counselor's office, but this would be my dream office if I had done this, if I could set up my center like this. Now I have a friend here in Paducah City that she has done a beautiful job of taking a picture of her center and then putting her Bitmoji in there. So another fantastic way to do that. So I'm going to click this. I have embedded this or posted this as a top post in my Family Resource Center page. So we're going there right now. Here's my Family Resource Center page. And my little mascot's there as my profile. And rolling down, there is my virtual office. So I spell it out for them about how to use it, but we're gonna click on it. I'm gonna show you real quick. So I love my fish. I don't know, that came with the background, but that's pretty awesome, right? My girls' pictures are there because they're very important to me. But now if you click around on it, if you click me, there's my contact information. You click the Facebook, of course, they're already on Facebook, but if they get here from an email I've sent or from the web page that I have, then this will connect them to my Facebook page. I have the divisions page. I have my own person or Family Resource Center page, and then some fun things, the dinner table project. Any of you probably participate in that. There's info on that when they click that. Our Born Learning Academy, and here I'll post the dates and everything. They can quickly get the information for this. I have a pep talk from Kid President, because don't we need that? And I love him. He's awesome. So put some inspirational things, some fun things. Go Noodle is a favorite of my early elementary students, so I have access to Go Noodle. A lot of families may not realize they can do that from home. Parent cafes, and the schedule for that is there. And parents' resources for conscious discipline. We use conscious discipline in our school, and many families would like to do that at home, so this has been a great way to share information with them. Also, I have my backpack request here. They can click there. Food resources here, and if you click the hand sanitizer, our pandemic directory of services. So there's much more I want to add when I have a minute, but this will just give you an idea of the many resources that you could put in there. Sure, I want to build relationships and I want to know when they need help with food and that kind of thing, but it's an easy way also for them to get the resources or for me to send them to resources for the future. And then oftentimes they still will contact you and dialogue with you about it. But it's a great way to get information out. So you might think about that if you are interested in having a Frisky virtual page. This year, we also went virtual with our school supply request. So we have some families that have COVID. So we wanted to do something in as little contact as possible, but still to meet the need. So I set up a request using Google Forms. I'm going to show that to you in a minute. If you're not using Google Forms, you should be. I see Sally Washburn shaking her head. Absolutely, you should be. It is a lifesaver.
Marianna,
I also created.
Can you give us rights to record this before
They are recording it for you. They are recording it, Sally.
Okay, thank you.
I also created a Bitly. So a Bitly is kind of like a QR code. It's just an easy web link because my teachers were giving the link to families when they called to see if they were virtual learners or coming to school this year. So it was a great way, something easy to remember. So I created a Bitly. If you don't know how to do a Bitly, throw it in the chat and I'll do it during Q&A. I'll show you how to create a Bitly. But you can personalize that link. So you can see my Bitly is RES School Supplies, and that was easy for them to remember. So this is my form, okay? And I use Google Translate because of my Hispanic population. Is it perfect? No. It's terrible sometimes in its translation, but it gets the job done when you can't reach someone. So I collected some more information from them. I wanted to know, do they need masks? I wanted to know, do they need the Christmas assistance program? We'll send that info to you. So I have all that in the request form, okay? Then when you get those requests all coming in, it's gonna look like this, and you see up here where it says responses. So over on when you click responses, you get a screen like this, and you could look at each individual person's response. But that's not useful to me. What's really useful to me is this little green button that looks like a spreadsheet. It is so awesome. Let me show you what it does. It puts everything in a spreadsheet. So I didn't have time for 100+ people to email me saying they needed school supplies, because what am I going to do with that info? I'm going to put it in a spreadsheet. I like working smarter, not harder. And so this automatically dumps it in a spreadsheet. I can sort this by grade. I can sort this by my virtual learners versus my returning to school. I can sort it for all those who need masks, all those who need Christmas assistance. So if you're gathering information, this is a great time-saving way to get the information you want. So if you haven't used Google Forms, you should. It's awesome. And my families can do it from any mobile device, okay? So it's really great for them. How about those advisory council meetings? Anybody had those yet? So we're going virtual with those, right? And I don't know about you, but I have a binder of information that has the agenda and the minutes and the budget reports and all those things in there. And I really don't want them coming and picking those up before a meeting and all that. We are going, I should have done this a long time ago because I know some of you do. We're going to have that all digital this year. It's going to be on a Google Drive in a folder, or it's going to be on Google Classroom. You can choose which one. They both would probably work well. I'm working on setting mine up in a Google Classroom. I don't know if I'll ever go back to the binder. I think this is going to be so much better because I kill too many trees filling those binders. So this would be a great way to do that now that we're virtual. They'll have access to it at any time. So something you might consider as you're preparing for your advisory council meetings. I talked about our Great Coalition page. If you're not on there, you should join. Let me tell you, we ask all kinds of questions. I know we have 1,100 members, but there's probably only 200 that really are active on there getting ideas from other people. And I love stealing your ideas. Y'all are great. So it's great networking. I know we have already, there's a Bitmoji thread in there already of people that are setting up virtual centers. There have been all kinds of questions. So if you have a question, you're like, I don't really know how to do this, throw it on there because we have such wise people that we work with. We need to learn from each other more. So that would be a great way to get answers and to pick your brain, or you know, join in when you have a great idea that you want to share. Okay, I know I've gone fast, but we'd love to take your questions before we head into those breakout rooms. So I think Greg's gonna feed me some questions that you may have in the chat.
Absolutely, yes. So first of all, the chat is full of all kinds of great requests for you,
Okay.
Marianna, especially the bingo cards. And so everybody who wants bingo cards, if you open up the chat and just say, I want bingo cards and put your email address in, we'll extract all those email addresses from the chat box. But we did have a couple of comments and questions.
Okay.
Somebody named W. Watercutter mentioned that all of her clubs are going virtual in Rowan County Middle.
Awesome. Awesome.
There was a question from Becky Johnson. How do you get packing slips from direct shipment to families?
So that's a great question. When we did that, they had to let me know. They could take a picture of the packing slip, or at least let me know that it was received, and then I passed that on to purchasing. So we worked that out. I have a fantastic purchasing department, and it went so smooth. And like I said, the families just loved receiving those packages in the mail.
Terrific. The next question is a how-to. How did you make the bingo cards?
Okay, the bingo card I created was the family engagement bingo, and I did that using Sheets in Google. So Google Sheets, and I personalized that. My email's here on the screen. If any of you would like to be added, I've shared that with a lot of coordinators. I would be happy to share it with you. Then all you'll need to do is make a copy of it, and then you can personalize it for yourself. So, you know, if you had high schoolers, you would want to add so many other different things, and that would be great. It would be an easy way for you to do that.
Super. A comment from C. Purdue. I have had the same luck with her Facebook center page, or his. Okay, and there was a request if you could demonstrate how to do a Bitly.
Sure. Okay. Let me jump out of here. Oh, let's see. So I've got this toolbar showing up here, so I can't. Okay. So if you go to app. Or if you just Google search Bitly, B-I-T-L-Y, it's bitly.com. For some reason it has app.bitly.com. You go to bitly.com, it looks like this, and you do a create. Then if you paste, Google Forms will give you that really long, let me just put in what it might look like. Let me see if I can get, there we go. Everybody knows how to get their link off Google Forms, right? So you go to send and hit the link, and it's really long, and you hit shorten, and it's still kind of long, right? Okay, so copy it, then go to that Bitly link, bitly.com. You're gonna paste it in there. Okay, and hit create. Now I want to customize the back half. So it's going to be bit.ly/ and maybe I want to say Greyhounds. And then when I hit save, that will be the link. And the one thing to remember about Google Forms, every time you make a change, not every time, but many times when you make a significant change in a form after you've sent it out, it's going to generate a new link. Well, you don't want to send out a new link every other week. So you can just go back to your Bitly, put that link in, put in what your customized one is, and the parents will never know you changed the form. So it's wonderful if you want to personalize it, just like the QR codes. I don't really use QR codes in elementary school, but I would if I were in middle and high for sure. And it's the same. You go to a QR code generator, and it'll produce that code for you when you put a link in. So they're really nice.
Okay, I think almost every single person that has participated, about 200 or so, have requested the bingo cards.
Okay, great.
So there's a lot of those.
Okay.
A really nice comment from Carol Keys. Is there a way to get a copy or sample of all of what you've shown? All of your stuff is great.
And I love Carol Keys. We've never, I guess maybe we've met at a conference, but I look up to her because she has such great programming going on too. So kudos to you, Carol. I will find a way to put all that in a package, in a file, and Greg and I will figure out how to send that out to everybody, okay? Thank you, I appreciate that.
Another comment, question from Charlotte Hall. Sorry, I had to mute someone. I would like to be able to create the Facebook page for virtual requests for school supplies and other family needs. And so again, if you have questions on that, probably reach out.
Yes, I've got my email here and my phone number. Reach out to me. I'll be glad to help you, talk you through that. Kind of get an idea of what information you want to gather, and we can hop on the phone and get it done. Be glad to help.
So a couple follow-up comments. Yes, awesome job, Marianna. What
thank
platform
you.
are you using to share your virtual Bitmoji centers with families?
That's a Google platform. It's simply a Google slide.
Super.
For those that don't, I will add, for those that don't have Google, I know my city friends have to use Microsoft. You can create that in PowerPoint, and it would do the same thing.
Another nice comment about especially how you worded your Google form and the school supply request. That's a thank you from Jennifer McGraw.
Oh, thank you.
And from Melissa Wolf, thank you so much for sharing with us. Here's a question from Leanne Lowry. So Marianna, are you doing most of your parent virtual meetings in the evening? Are they live on Zoom or pre-recorded?
We're going to do those on Zoom. We're doing a lunchtime and an evening meeting once a month with our parent cafes. Our Born Learning will need to be in the evening. So we find 5:30, 6 o'clock, but with Born Learning, you know, we provide the meal and everything. So we're going to build that, you know, it probably will start at 6 to give them time for having their meal. But with the parent cafes, we're doing one at 11:30, so a lunchtime, and then at 5:30 in the evening.
And I have a follow-up question, I think, from Dale Reed. Did the online form increase your requests?
Oh, yes. I've had more requests, maybe because of the pandemic, maybe because of the ease of requesting, you know, but it's been a great thing. You know, everybody's hurting right now. So if I can help with school supplies and take that little bit of burden off of them, then I'm happy to do it.
All right. Well, I think that might be all of our questions. Marianna, I want to extend a special thank you for going first and for all of that information. And we'll work together and we will try to get those resources, the bingo cards and so on, out to everybody who's mentioned in the chat.
Sure.
But what I'd like to do now, and keep them coming, we're going to have we'll still be on the main room for just a moment. I'm going to launch a couple of quick polls while we've got everybody here before we go into the breakout rooms. And so the first poll is about the frequency of these. So one of the things we're talking about, we'd like this to be an ongoing series. So we'd like to hear from you if this would be something that would be and think realistically of how often you could tear away and really attend these. But would you like to see these weekly, every other week, as we have really good speakers or topics, maybe monthly, or if you've got other ideas of how this could best be done. The next poll is going to talk about what day of the week works best. So if you've got ideas on that, that'll be the next poll. We'll leave this open for just a few more minutes or a few more seconds here. We'll give you about a minute. We got about 20 seconds left. They're still coming in kind of fast. And feel free, you can also still enter any additional questions. We did record the session. Unfortunately, I missed the first maybe like 3 or 4 minutes. And Marianna, we may talk about splicing something in there.
Okay.
But this recording will be available. We'll probably end up putting it on a YouTube channel. But we'll get it processed and ready, and we'll send out the information because I got a lot of emails when we switched the link of people who weren't able to be with us today but really wanted that information. And again, if you would like those bingo cards, I'm going to go ahead and end this first one. Okay, and so here's the results. Monthly one, just barely over every other week. And so, so thank you very much for that. You can click off that to stop seeing that in the middle of your screen. And I'm gonna actually turn it off for everyone. And regarding the first few minutes, info regarding first minutes about direct mailing to families, thank you so much. Today was great, Marianna. And then additional requests for bingo cards. Please go ahead and include your email address if you're hoping to get those. Is there an advantage to using the shown parent cafe group to getting trained?
There is training available. I'm not trained. I haven't been to one of the trainings yet, but some of my Family Resource Center friends here have been to the trainings. So we have a local, you may have a local group that meets, or you may take advantage of the statewide group. We like our local one because, you know, sometimes the parents know each other. You know, I'm sure tonight talking about the school starting, you know, it's going to be very tailored to our 2 districts, and our plans are a little bit the same and then they become different. So I'm sure we'll have a lot to share, but I think statewide you can learn a lot too. So, but if you have the ability to develop a local group to do parent cafes, you have some trained folks, that would be awesome.
All right, thank you so much. So I have released the second poll, and that is just talking about what day of the week looks like it will work best. And I can already give you a little hint with about 100 of you responding. Wednesday is the overwhelming favorite. I'll leave that open for another 10 seconds. And there also are some requests for the PowerPoint. So Marianna, would you be willing to share that as well?
Sure, absolutely.
And all of the information that's in that. And that would probably come with the embedded link to the Bitmoji classroom.
That's right.
Super. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and end that polling. And so here are the results. And so 83% of you all prefer Wednesdays. So I'm glad that we stumbled on the right day for all of you to get started. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we are gonna go into breakout groups. And so I'm doing the math quickly in my head here, but I don't really need to. I have a calculator. So we're gonna send you into groups of about 7 or 8 people. And so let's see. Alrighty here. Okay, so the way this is going to work is you're going to be invited into a breakout room, and they're going to be automatic. And you'll have to click on a link to join it. If you have trouble or something's gone wrong, you can leave the room and come back and we can help you rejoin. Now, what we're gonna do, we have about 20 minutes left. So we're gonna give you almost 15 minutes in this first breakout room. And we'll give you about a 2-minute countdown to let you know when it's ending. And then we're gonna reshuffle the groups one time so you can touch base with some other folks and maybe share what happened in your first group. You'll probably end up muted when you start. So first thing you're going to want to do is look down in the bottom left corner and unmute yourself. And if you're not sharing video up till now, if you can share video, that would probably make your rooms a little bit more personal, but that is totally up to you. There's a handful of you that don't have audio or video. And if you just want to be in a room to listen, remember you will have a chat room in each room and you can communicate that way. Okay, so without further ado, thanks again, Marianna, but we're gonna go into chat rooms and so look for that link right now.